Okay, let's dive right in. We're looking at this really unremarkable building out in rural Virginia.
Yeah, totally forgettable. Faded paint, chain link fence, maybe an old dead solar charger, just blending in.
Exactly. But beneath that, like 4 levels down, heavily sealed, that's where we find Project Oracle.
And it's that contrast, isn't it? The sheer blandness hiding something so
Got there.
out there.
Totally. A team of 6 people, right, who can basically see anywhere using just their minds. Trained remote viewers.
It's not satellites, not drones. It's harnessing something intrinsically human, but in a way that feels like sci-fi.
And Project Oracle isn't just about looking. They're set up for intervention. And the sources we looked at, they drop us right into a massive crisis.
Chicago. The whole city is on the brink, according to this material.
It kicks off with specialist Juno Reyes, her first vision. It's intense.
Yeah, the sources describe it vividly. She's suddenly in this warehouse, southside Chicago. She hears ticking, feels vibration, this cold, psychic pressure.
And she just knows. It snaps into focus. Cesium-137, fertilizer, a detonator. It's a dirty bomb.
And the time frame is brutal, 72 hours.
That's the trigger, right? Colonel Lucien Gray, the Oracle director, gets the call. Time to assemble the team.
And it's a unique lineup. Each member has a very specific talent.
Juno, you mentioned, she's got that short-range accuracy, pinpointing things in, like, dense urban areas.
And Theo Brandt, he reads patterns, sees causal chains, like ripples in time almost, how past actions lead to future ones.
Kira Amari, she reads emotional imprints left on objects or places, like psychic residue.
Exactly. Reads the history of feeling in a space. Then Dmitry Volkov, he's the anchor, vital for holding their shared vision together.
Keeps it stable, stops it falling apart. And Eli Hassan, the dream diver.
Right. He finds truths hidden in dreams in that fragmented symbolic language.
So you've got this incredible team facing this huge challenge, find a nuke nobody else knows about with the clock ticking down fast.
And the enemy's strategy is key here, hiding in plain sight. It forces Oracle to rely on these unconventional, uniquely human skills.
How do they even coordinate that? The mind stream, right?
Yes, the mind stream. The sources detail this very controlled setup, a secure, vault-level chamber.
Sensory deprivation, reclining chairs in a pentagon formation, soundless field.
All of that. Plus a neurosync pulse. It's subtle tech to help align their brainwaves, make that shared mental space more cohesive.
And Dmitry, the anchor, is central to this working.
Absolutely pivotal. He acts like a gravitational center, pulling them into that shared focus. It shows how delicate this collective viewing really is.
So they're in the mind stream. Juno leads, focusing on that phrase from her vision. McKinley, transfer depot.
And the location starts to materialize in their shared view. The details are really specific in the sources. Corrugated walls, rusted sign, even a rat near a box marked agrosafe.
And then the man appears, scar on his cheek, Turkish prayer beads.
And those boots. Military style, but with the Chicago Bears sticker. These little human details make the threat feel so much more real.
And Kira picks up on his emotions.
Intense emotions, rage, but also guilt. A powerful conflicting mix. Suggests maybe ex-military, someone who thinks they're doing the right thing, however warped.
That combination sounds dangerous.
Extremely. And Eli, the dream diver, adds another piece. The man dreams of fire, of cleansing. It suggests he's not working alone. There's an ideology behind this.
Then Theo finds something in the patterns.
Yes, a breakthrough. He identifies 6 individuals, the guy inside, 2 drivers, 2 lookouts,
Yeah.
and, someone watching his back.
Watching them back, what does that mean?
It means immediate danger. It ramps everything up. They're not the only players using these kinds of abilities.
And Juno confirms it, just says someone else is viewing. Counter view.
Yeah, hostile remote viewing. It's a concept with roots back in the Cold War, psychic espionage stuff. Most thought those programs were dead.
But apparently not. This suggests they've evolved, maybe gone underground.
Or resurfaced. Theo's reaction is telling. He pulls back immediately, totally distressed.
He knows the danger.
Says the counter viewer is trained, knows how to block them, mask the target. His words are something like, "We're on the clock." The urgency is just palpable.
So what does Gray do? They can't just keep viewing if they're being blocked.
He brings in tech, a handheld quantum jammer. Trying to disrupt the interference, maybe. The details are fuzzy, but it's a countermeasure.
And then the big decision, boots on the ground.
Deploy the team to Chicago, shift from pure remote viewing to a hybrid approach. They'll use mobile viewing pods, shadowing conventional intel teams in real time.
But Juno still needs that direct look inside the depot, right? Before the signal gets completely jammed.
That's the priority. Get eyes on target, psychic, or physical. And Gray gives them a hard deadline, 48 hours.
The pressure is immense, relying on these abilities against someone who might have the same toolkit.
It's incredibly high stakes.
Oh.
So they get to Chicago, split into 2 covert units. Unmarked vans, neural cradles, signal dampers, total secrecy.
Juno and Theo head straight for the south side near the depot.
Right. And Theo starts running his probability threads, using encrypted AI to help map out potential futures based on Juno's input.
And Juno's doing physical overlay viewing. What's that exactly?
It's like projecting her senses onto the physical location, overlaying her psychic perception onto the real-world map of the warehouse district, a fusion of mind in place.
And she zeroes in on parcel 17B, sub-basement. Gets a bad feeling.
More than bad. She describes this sensation of hunger, something she instinctively links to radiation. It's a visceral, intuitive hit.
Wow. And does Theo's analysis back that up?
It does. He gets a 78% probability match, high-risk flags everywhere, and crucially, the shipment for 17B, it's off the books, scrubbed from city inventory logs.
Deliberately hidden. Okay, so Juno pushes deeper with her viewing.
Deeper. She sees the man again in the basement now, lighting incense, praying. But his fingers, they're trembling as he checks the detonation switch.
The switch is live.
Armed, and the timer is visible. 2 days, 10 hours remaining. The threat is immediate, tangible.
And then, this is the part that gets me. The man looks up.
Looks right at her. Through the psychic connection. Shouldn't be possible.
But it happens. And her reaction.
An internal scream, the source says. Just this horrifying thought. You're already too late.
Chilling. Suggesting they're behind the curve, even though they found him. What does that mean for remote viewing? Can targets become aware?
That's the terrifying question it raises, isn't it?
Yeah.
So back in the van, Theo just goes into overdrive. Pattern analysis, escape routes, detonation timings, likely police response times.
He's mapping out the whole scenario.
Exactly. And his projection is grim. A rush hour detonation for maximum contamination. Wind patterns carrying fallout toward the loop. Millennium Park. Catastrophic scale.
But if they grab the bomber now,
they might lose the rest of the cell. Yeah. He goes dark. The network scatters. It's a classic intelligence dilemma.
Leading to Colonel Gray putting it straight to Theo. What's your call?
Yeah, huge weight on his shoulders. And Theo decides, they track, follow the potential paths, the forks, try to identify the whole network.
It's a massive gamble.
Huge. Meanwhile, Kira's working with those prayer beads they saw, extracting psychic imprints.
How does she do that?
The source describes it like tracing ripples on water. Very delicate. Following the faint emotional echoes left on the object.
And she gets a name.
Ibrahim Safar. And his backstory comes through too. Former U.S. Army interpreter. Discharged after a drone strike tragedy in 2076. Mistranslated coordinates led to his family's death.
Oh, wow. Okay. That provides a motive, a deeply tragic one.
It explains the grief, the rage she felt. And she follows that psychic trail, his path through radical forums, burner phones, military surplus stores where he likely got materials.
Each step left a residue she could follow.
Yes. And the connection becomes so strong, she says she can almost taste the metal of the bomb. She understands his mindset. He thinks that this is justice. And he's been promised salvation.
Promise. Gray picks up on that, right? Promised by who?
And Kira gives him the name. Someone named Ember Prophet. A new player emerges from the shadows.
Ember Prophet. So Eli, the dream diver, takes over, trying to figure out who or what this is.
Exactly. He dives into the dream fragments associated with Ibrahim and the network, trying to piece together this orchestrator.
And what does he find in the dreamscape?
Something disturbing. Not human. A flickering image of teeth and smoke, speaking reversed audio that Eli has to translate.
Reversed audio. That's unsettling. What's the message?
Pure nihilism. They think they're awake. Their cities are built on sleeping minds. We awaken the sleepers with fire. It's about chaos, destruction as enlightenment.
And Eli wakes up suddenly with a realization.
A critical one. The prophet isn't physically in Chicago. This entity exists within the dream stream itself.
Whoa, like living in the psychic space.
Effectively weaponizing it. Using stolen remote viewing tech, maybe? Building a psychic hub to control his network through their dreams? Manipulating them from within?
So Eli's conclusion is?
Alarming. They're not just watching us, they're using the same tools we are. It's a psychic arms race. Hunter and hunted using the same methods.
Okay, so the clock is really ticking now. 18 hours left. The team converges on the south side. SWAT is waiting in the wings.
But Oracle wants to avoid open conflict if possible. Keep the panic down, prevent casualties, that's the prime directive.
Juno does one last deep view into parcel 17B.
And the bomb's gone. They moved it. Ibrahim is mobile.
Her report comes fast. Ibrahim's on the move, heading toward Union Station. She's tracking him psychically, street by street.
Adding more detail. 2 accomplices. White utility van. Bomb is live. They're making a final run.
And Theo's projection for Union Station.
Disaster. Thousands dead, 10 blocks contaminated. Utter chaos.
Which leads to Gray's order. Intercept at all costs. No civilian casualties. Almost impossible.
Theo has to coordinate fast, bringing in DHS assets who are undercover nearby. There's this moment where a traffic light glitches, seemingly by chance.
Stalls the van, gives the units a chance to move in.
Exactly. Seems like maybe they've got him. But then the van explodes.
The bomb went off?
No, not the main device. A smaller firebomb planted underneath. It was a decoy, a deliberate feint.
Oh no, to draw attention away.
And Juno realizes instantly, screams it out. It's a feint. The real bomb's underground blue line tunnel.
The subway tunnel.
Yeah.
Even more contained, potentially worse. And Kira gets another hit.
Yes, an urgent emotional read. Ibrahim's not the detonation trigger, it's on a timer.
They took the human element out of the loop. Gray asks the critical question. Time.
And Kira's answer is just devastating. 7 minutes.
7 minutes. No time for bomb disposal. No conventional options left.
Just one desperate, incredibly dangerous long shot.
And Eli steps up, volunteers to dive into Ibrahim's mind, try to find the disarm code psychically.
Knowing it's almost certainly a suicide mission. The psychic feedback, the trauma. The risks are off the charts.
You see the physical toll immediately. In the neural cradle, his heart rate is spiking.
But Juno and Dimitri are there, trying to act as tethers, maintaining that fragile link as he goes under.
What's it like inside Ibrahim's mind?
Chaos. The sources describe a battlefield of glass and dust, screaming voices, sirens playing backwards, just pure psychic trauma.
And he finds Ibrahim.
Finds him kneeling beside a burning photograph. The core of his grief, his pain, laid bare.
Then Eli tries to reach him.
Gently. Not fighting, but appealing. Ibrahim, it doesn't end their suffering, it only spreads it, trying to cut through the Prophet's influence.
But Ibrahim is still trapped by that manipulation.
His response is heartbreaking. The Prophet said it was the only way. He's still caught in that lie.
So what does Eli do?
He reaches out psychically, but with compassion. His message is simple, powerful. No, the only way is forgiveness.
Challenging the whole cycle of violence the Prophet represents.
And something shifts. The psychic storm pauses. The wind stops, symbolically. A moment of clarity breaks through.
And the code
appears, like writing in fire across the sky within Ibrahim's mind. 731946. A last-second retrieval born from empathy.
Eli gets the code out just before. Well, the implication is he pays a heavy price. He jolts awake, mission accomplished, but the cost.
The cost is high. This whole deep dive, it's been intense. A journey into espionage fought on the battlefield of the mind.
It really makes you think about remote viewing, doesn't it? The potential, but also the ethics. Where's the line between observing and intervening?
Especially when the stakes are saving a city. And what about the vulnerabilities? Facing an enemy who uses the same tools? It's a whole new kind of warfare.
And maybe the biggest takeaway, the thought to leave with? In a world where trauma like Ibrahim's can be twisted, where ideologies like the Prophet's can spread, can you ever have a clear line between understanding why something is happening and stepping in to stop it?
That boundary feels incredibly blurred after exploring these sources. It's a complex question with no easy answers.